Hey Liz, here I am.
Hello everybody. Today we will take a look at 3 girl groups that debuted in the past years, but all had to suffer the fate of very early disbandment. The 3 groups show quite a lot of similarities, so we decided to cover them all in one video, diving into their careers, the companies that failed them, and taking a look at what went wrong. The story of LUNARSOLAR begins in early 2019. NHN Bugs, a huge South Korean music distribution company, announced their plans to debut 2 girl groups in the future through 2 different companies that they have big shares and ownership in. J-Planet Entertainment was shared to launch a 7-member girl group titled First Love in late 2019, and HOW Entertainment was also supposed to introduce a girl group in the near future. Throughout 2019, J-Planet Entertainment introduced only 5 possible members through their trainee group Rookie Planet. The debut plans of First Love were not mentioned again. In early 2020, member Soojin left the trainee team. In July, it was announced that the remaining 4 members would debut as J-Planet Entertainment's first girl group, called LUNARSOLAR. The members were announced to be Iso, Taeryong, Jian, and Yuli. Some of the members were known to the public beforehand. Member Taeryong had been part of the entertainment industry for quite some time. She first appeared back in 2016 as a contestant on Produce 101, representing Yama and Hot Chicks Entertainment. After being eliminated, she left her company and joined Star Music Entertainment. A year later, she left Star Music and joined ONO Entertainment, becoming a pre-debut member of their planned girl group Black Mamba. Later that year, Taeryong joined another competition show and reached 46th place on mixnine. At the end of the year, she left both Black Mamba and ONO Entertainment. A year later, she was introduced as a pre-debut member of girl group A Daily under DK Entertainment, but was unable to make her debut with them, finally being announced as a member of LUNARSOLAR in 2020. Jian had been part of the girl group SET under her stage name Tae in 2017, however the group disbanded just 6 months after debut in December of 2017. She also joined the survival show The Unit, but was eliminated early. She was then introduced as a member of LUNARSOLAR in 2020. Japanese member Yuli debuted as an original member of the Japanese girl group IS9 in 2013 until her graduation in 2015. She was also introduced as a member of LUNARSOLAR in 2020. In September of 2020, LUNARSOLAR officially debuted with their first single album Solar Flare, including the track Oh Ya Ya Ya. The physical album has sold over 4,000 copies. Their music video surpassed 5 million combined views. The song has also reached 1.5 million streams on Spotify. The group went on to promote on all major music shows the following weeks. 6 months after their debut, LUNARSOLAR announced their comeback with another single album titled Solar Rise. The album was able to surpass the sales of their debut and has reached over 6,000 physical copies sold. The music video was able to surpass 2.5 million combined views, a decrease compared to their debut. The album was able to hit the top spot on iTunes in Colombia, marking a big achievement for the group. They also gained attention across China, with their Weibo hashtag surpassing 6 million views. Da Da Da, the title track, has also surpassed 900,000 streams on Spotify. Around the same time of the comeback, it was also announced that LUNARSOLAR were preparing their Japanese debut, and even signed to a Japanese company. The following months, content started to slow down, and no new music was released. The group started to fade from the public's eye, and fans were very concerned. The fandom even started a mass emailing project, however J-Planet did not respond to all the concerns. In November of 2021, it was announced that NHN Bugs, the holder of 70% of J-Planet Entertainment, had decided to sell its shares due to low income. The published article shared that J-Planet Entertainment had a net loss of $1.1 million while only having an operating profit of $400,000. The company also reportedly changed their CEO. Fans were very concerned for LUNARSOLAR's future. J-Planet Entertainment stayed silent on the matter. In early December, LUNARSOLAR released their festive song Christmas Is You, which was able to reach 160,000 views on YouTube as of today. In May of 2022, after a long period of silence, J-Planet Entertainment announced the official disbandment of LUNARSOLAR, not even 2 years after debut. The company stated that J-Planet had decided to terminate the contracts and that all of the members would leave the company. A day later, their last song, Do You Wanna Get Down, was released digitally, reaching 230,000 views as of now. Member Jian has not yet announced her return to the entertainment industry. She's been active on Instagram and seems to be enjoying life. Members Iso and Yuli have both signed with Gawu Global Agency, short GAA, for international promotions and are often seen spending time together. No new releases have been announced. Their company, GGA, shared their plans to debut a new girl group in the second half of 2023, but it's unknown if the former LUNARSOLAR members will be included or not. Member Taeyong, after being part of 5 companies and 2 survival shows, has successfully made her independent solo debut with her single Happy Trip, released in September of 2022. The song is available on all streaming platforms. Her music video has surpassed 75,000 views on YouTube. Interestingly, if you remember the beginning, the announced girl group called First Love was actually a trainee team called 05 Class under J-Planet Entertainment until sometime in 2021. The group was moved to pop music and debuted in July of 2022 as CSR, gaining quite some popularity among K-pop fans. In 2020, S2 Entertainment was founded by former Cube Entertainment co-founder Hong Seung-song. In November, it was announced that the company was planning to debut their first girl group in early 2021. Through trademark application, the name of the group was revealed to be HOTISSUE. Before debuting with HOTISSUE, almost all of the members had been active in the entertainment industry or were under different companies prior to joining S2 Entertainment. Member Dain was a former P Nation trainee. She performed on the second episode of youth casting show Captain, but was eliminated in the first round. Member Yebin used to be a trainee under Source Music. Yewon trained under Fave Entertainment, which later merged with Plan A Entertainment and went on to debut the girl group Weekly. Member Nayeon used to be a Source Music trainee, and she also trained under Cube Entertainment. Member Hyungshin used to be under All S Company, where she was part of the unit Gyopsikdan in 2018, a unit formed with members of the boy group D-Crunch and 2 female trainees. In October that same year, she was announced as a member of the upcoming girl group All S Girl under the stage name Yuha. However, in February of 2019, she departed from the group and All S Company. All S Girl never ended up debuting. Hyungshin joined the teen survival show Captain in late 2020, finishing in 7th place. In March of 2021, she was announced as a member of HOTISSUE. Chinese member Meina used to be a contestant on Produce 101 China, representing Yehua Entertainment. She was eliminated, ranking 52nd place. She joined other companies in China before being introduced as a member of HOTISSUE. HOTISSUE was announced to be composed of Meina, Nahyun, Hyungshin, Dana, Yewon, Yebin, and Dain. After revealing all the members throughout March 2021, HOTISSUE made their official debut with their first mini-album Issue Maker at the end of April, including their title track Gratata. The physical album was sold over 2.5 thousand times during its first week of release. The music video was able to almost surpass 7 million combined views until today. Gratata has surpassed 1.6 million streams on Spotify as of now. The group followed with promotions on all major music shows. The group put out an immense amount of content across all social media platforms. Apart from content produced by themselves, the group appeared on One The K countless times with vocal and dance covers, variety content, and more. In July, the CEO of S2 Entertainment shared that HOTISSUE would release 3 albums in 2021 and that they already recorded the second album. The CEO also shared his plans to debut a new group every year to help the company grow. Only 5 months after debut, HOTISSUE returned with their first single album titled Icons, including the title track of the same name at the end of September. The physical album was able to surpass 2.2 thousand physical albums sold during its first week, a small decrease compared to their debut. The music video was viewed over 11 million times, marking a big increase compared to Gratata a few months prior. Icons was also able to surpass 2.3 million streams on Spotify, surpassing their debut song. The group once again promoted the song and posted loads of content on their social media platforms. In December of 2021, S2 Entertainment announced to have acquired 51% of Aura Entertainment, the company home to soloist Adora. S2 Entertainment secured the management rights and implemented Aura Entertainment as a subsidiary of S2 Entertainment, in charge of planning and production, as well as management of existing solo artists. As the new year began, leader Nahyun was missing from the birthday livestream for member Yewon, but she later apologized through Fan Cafe. After posting the last episode of their reality show HOTISSUE Day at the end of January, the entire group went dead silent on all social media platforms. Fans assumed the group was taking a short break due to the busy year they had, but the break did not end, and not a single sign was shared through the official accounts. After 3 months of complete silence, S2 Entertainment shared that HOTISSUE would be disbanding 6 days before their 1-year anniversary. It is currently unknown which of the members are still under S2 Entertainment and who left. In late July of 2020, social media accounts were opened for new girl group BLING BLING. The members were introduced through covers and would go on to debut under mixnine, a South Korean entertainment company founded in 2017 as a result of a merger between 3 other companies. mixnine were managing a few actors and soloists at that time alongside the duo Vibe and trio Foreman. Juyeon had been a trainee under mixnine for a long time and was seen auditioning for mixnine, however she wasn't chosen to compete. Member Yubin joined Produce 48 back in 2018 representing CNC School. She was eliminated ranking 88th place. In December that same year, she joined Stardom Entertainment along all other CNC School contestants from Produce 48. It's unknown when Yubin left and joined mixnine. Member Jiyeon also used to be part of the pre-debut lineup of Stardom Entertainment's girl group before joining mixnine. The final lineup for Bling Bling was announced to be composed of Juyeon, Ayami, Jiyeon, Marin, Nalin, and Yubin. The group finally officially debuted with their digital single GGB, also the name of the title track, alongside the B-side La 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 on November 17, the same day as girl group aespa. The album also included the Japanese versions of both songs. The music video for GGB has reached almost 2 million views as of now. The song has also surpassed 1.1 million streams on Spotify. Bling Bling started promoting their title track on all major music shows the following weeks. A performance video for B-side La 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 was also released, reaching over 2 million views. Both songs of the group received very positive response in Latin America, and the group was even interviewed by the biggest Mexican broadcasting station in early 2021. There was a lot of social media content that was being posted across all their platforms. At the end of May, more than half a year after their debut, Bling Bling returned with their first mini-album, Contrast. The album included their previous 2 songs alongside another B-side and their new title track, Oh Mama. The music video for Oh Mama has almost surpassed 4 million combined views, marking an increase in views compared to their debut. The physical album was only sold around 600 times. Oh Mama has almost reached 800,000 streams on Spotify. After promotions for Oh Mama ended, the group kept posting very regularly across all social media platforms. Vlogs, vocal and dance covers, and even multiple small variety shows were released on their YouTube channel. 11 days after their last upload, mixnine suddenly announced that they decided to terminate the members' contracts and that Bling Bling would go on to disband. the company went on to share the newly created social media accounts of all former members and also announced that 4 out of the 6 members would leave Major 9. Only Jian, now a vocalist, and Yubin, now an actress, would remain under Major 9. Seeing smaller groups disband so early into their careers is heartbreaking, but sadly very common. While it's clear that we don't have the full picture of all the things that happened behind the scenes yet, we can still try to figure out why these groups had to go so early on. Before we list some of the possible reasons, we want to take a moment to share the similarities these groups share. All 3 of the groups had a total of 2 releases, none lived longer than 2 years, and all were disbanded by their company. On the other hand, none of these groups reached a significant amount of sold albums, accumulated streams, or views. And most importantly, disbandment wasn't planned for these groups, it was more so an inevitable fate. LUNARSOLAR never debuted in Japan, and HOTISSUE never released that 3rd album. There were indeed plans to continue the career of these groups, but somehow they just couldn't. Debuted in 2020 and 21, all groups debuted during the worldwide pandemic. As mentioned in earlier videos, the pandemic had huge effects on the entertainment industry. There were way less investors due to companies going bankrupt or struggling financially. Idols had way less opportunities to promote themselves due to social distancing rules, and the income possibilities were also cut short due to concerts and events being cancelled all the time. To make it short, all the companies must have been short on money, and disbandment was the easiest way to get rid of their biggest expense, their artists. This theory is also supported when taking a look at the companies after the disbandment of the groups. Major 9 has not released anything since Bling Bling disbanded. S2 Entertainment signed soloist Natty but has not released 1 album for her, and J-Planet Entertainment even let go of 05 Class, who ended up debuting as CSR under a different company. In J-Planet Entertainment's case, the discussed article proves that the company was financially unstable. The absolute silence from all 3 following the disbandment shows that as well for the other 2. In S2 Entertainment's case, the acquisition of Aura Entertainment doesn't support this theory. HOTISSUE also shared in an episode of their last reality show that they were preparing for a comeback. There must have been unknown internal factors leading to the unforeseen disbandment. With or without pandemic, the K-pop industry has also changed drastically in the past few years. A few years back, many K-pop acts were supported for a minimum of 3 years, the amount of time expected for the breakthrough. During these years, frequent albums would be released and the groups would be promoted despite not hitting big yet. HOTISSUE disbanded after 361 days. LUNARSOLAR and BLING BLING didn't last 2 full years. There are hundreds of K-pop acts debuting every year, and only a handful of them can actually make it. With so much competition, companies tend to debut artists quite early and hope for them to gain fans fast enough, not taking the time to really establish a musical identity or anything that sets them apart. The groups discussed here have amazing music, no question, but the music did not set them apart from other groups very much, leading to people not recognizing them as an individual rookie group, but more so simply focusing on the song being enjoyable. There are simply too many debuts out there. Even groups from well-known companies are starting to struggle due to the sheer oversaturation. If your group doesn't start with a bang, it'll likely go on to never do so. As already mentioned, companies don't have the time to let artists come onto the scene and slowly rise in popularity. It's all about potential, the next viral sensation and instant success. It's very likely that all 3 companies relied on investors for their groups. J-Planet Entertainment surely did. Making these investors happy by paying them back when the group becomes successful has been a common practice. But nowadays, the pressure seems to be rising. If the group doesn't hit big in the first year, it'll be doomed and never successful. The extreme short careers of the mentioned groups showcase that quite well. LUNARSOLAR and HOTISSUE were able to achieve bigger success with their comebacks. But on paper, time was working against them. They weren't growing fast enough, they weren't showing enough potential. Disbanding the team and trying again seems to become the next common practice for smaller entertainment labels, as another try can give you the next chance of hitting big early, instead of supporting a group to slowly but steadily rise. Working on this video was quite hard as our team is a fan of all three mentioned groups. We were all rooting for them from the start and were very shocked when one disbandment notice followed the other. But the realization that idol groups are becoming projects that are being thrown on the wall to see what sticks shocked us even more. For the company, it might be a temporary loss in income, but for all mentioned idols it meant throwing away years of hard work and practice, oftentimes their entire youth. These idols trained for years, joining multiple agencies and going on survival shows for their chance to debut. And when they're finally debuted, they're being thrown away like an unsuccessful product that simply couldn't find its feet on the market. Joining the entertainment industry, these young hopefuls probably wanted to do what they love: sing, dance, and perform. But in the end, it's all about the numbers, the sales, the streams that they couldn't bring in, and that's simply heartbreaking. We have linked all social media accounts of the mentioned idols below. Please make sure to support them on their future paths as best as you can. Do you think there were other factors involved in the early disbandment of these groups? Share your opinions down below, and please remember to stay respectful to each other. Thank you for watching.